Have you ever seen a grown FBI agent disguise himself as a loud, hilarious grandmother just to stop a dangerous criminal? Because that's exactly what happens in Big Momma's house too, and trust me, this movie gets crazier every single minute. At first, it looks like a simple comedy. Funny costumes, weird family moments, silly accidents. But underneath all the jokes, there's a dangerous mission hiding in plain sight. And what happens next will shock you. This is not just another comedy movie. This is chaos, undercover spying, family drama, and non-stop disasters wrapped into one wild story. Today, we're diving deep into the full story breakdown of Big Momma's House 2 explained in English, with every funny twist, secret mission, and insane moment uncovered step by step. So sit back, because this movie explanation in English is about to get absolutely wild. The story begins with FBI agent Martin Lawrence returning as Malcolm Turner, a smart undercover officer who has one very special talent. He can become anyone. Seriously. With enough makeup, costumes, and attitude, Malcolm transforms into Big Momma, an old Southern grandmother nobody would ever suspect. And honestly, that disguise is both hilarious and terrifying. But this time, Malcolm doesn't even want the mission. He's tired. He wants to spend time with his wife. He wants a normal life. No more crazy undercover operations. Unfortunately for him, the FBI has other plans. One day, Malcolm learns about a dangerous criminal connected to national security. A computer expert named Tom Fuller might be secretly working with deadly people capable of selling government secrets. If the information leaks, thousands of lives could be in danger. The FBI needs evidence immediately, but there's a problem. Nobody can get close to the Fuller family. The house is heavily protected. The family trusts no one, and the suspect never leaves important information exposed. That's when the FBI comes up with the most ridiculous plan imaginable. Malcolm must disguise himself again as Big Momma. But here's the twist. This time he won't just visit the family. He'll live with them. Inside the house. 24 hours a day. Cooking for them. Cleaning for them. Watching them. One mistake, and his entire cover could collapse instantly. And this is where things get interesting. The Fuller family has no idea that their new housemaid is actually an FBI agent hiding under layers of makeup. At first, everything seems manageable. But then Malcolm realizes something horrifying. This family is completely insane. The children are uncontrollable. The parents are hiding secrets. The neighbors are suspicious. And every single day becomes more dangerous than the last. One moment he's spying on criminals. The next moment he's babysitting kids, dancing in the kitchen, and trying not to destroy his fake grandma costume. And somehow he has to survive all of it without revealing who he really is. But then everything changed. During one quiet moment inside the house, Malcolm notices strange behavior from Tom Fuller. Late night calls, hidden files, secret meetings. Something dark is happening behind closed doors. And Malcolm slowly realizes this mission is far more dangerous than anyone expected. Because if Tom Fuller really is involved with criminals, then Big Momma may have just walked directly into a trap. And trust me, what happens inside that house next turns this comedy into complete madness. Because the deeper Malcolm goes undercover, the harder it becomes to escape. And soon, somebody starts getting suspicious. Very suspicious. But who? That's where the story truly begins. The next morning, Malcolm wakes up inside the Fuller house wearing layers of heavy makeup, fake wrinkles, giant dresses, and the unforgettable personality of Big Momma. And already, things are going wrong. The children are screaming. The dog is attacking furniture. The kitchen looks like a battlefield. Malcolm thought this would be a quiet undercover mission. Instead, it feels like surviving a war zone. But he has no choice now. If he wants to uncover the truth about Tom Fuller, he must stay in character every second. One slip-up, one wrong voice, one mistake, and the entire mission could collapse instantly. That's what makes Big Momma's House 2 so entertaining. It constantly balances comedy with real tension. Because under all the hilarious chaos, Malcolm is still risking his life. Now we finally meet the Fuller family properly. Tom Fuller appears to be a normal husband and father. He's intelligent, calm, and works with advanced computer systems. But there's something strange about him. He acts nervous, distracted, like he's hiding something dangerous. And Malcolm notices it immediately. Meanwhile, Tom's wife Leah is kind, warm, and completely unaware of the FBI investigation surrounding her husband. That creates a huge emotional problem for Malcolm. Because the longer he stays in the house, the more attached he becomes to the family. Especially the children. At first, the kids absolutely love Big Momma. But because Big Momma doesn't act like a boring adult. She dances. She sings. She cooks massive meals. She tells crazy stories. And soon, the entire house begins changing because of her presence. But here's the twist. Malcolm starts forgetting he's undercover. Little by little, he becomes emotionally connected to this family. And that's dangerous. Because emotional attachment can destroy an FBI operation. Still, Malcolm continues searching for evidence. Late at night, while everyone sleeps, he sneaks through rooms looking for hidden files, suspicious devices, or proof connecting Tom Fuller to dangerous criminals. Every sound makes him nervous. A creaking floor. A moving shadow. A door slowly opening. At any moment, someone could discover his real identity. And this is where things get interesting. One evening, Malcolm secretly enters Tom's office searching for classified information. The room is dark. Computer screens glow softly in the shadows. Malcolm carefully checks drawers, cabinets, and files. Then suddenly, footsteps. Someone is coming. Malcolm panics. He barely has time to hide before Tom enters the room. Now imagine this situation. An undercover FBI agent disguised as an old grandmother is hiding under a desk, trying not to breathe. It's ridiculous, but also incredibly tense. Tom begins working on his computer late into the night, typing mysterious codes and encrypted messages Malcolm cannot fully understand. That's when Malcolm sees something terrifying. A hidden file connected to sensitive government information. This isn't just suspicion anymore. Tom Fuller may actually be involved in something huge. Something criminal. But before Malcolm can investigate further, disaster strikes. He accidentally makes noise. Tom freezes. Silence fills the room. And for a second, Malcolm thinks everything is over. Tom slowly turns toward the noise. Closer, closer, closer. But then, the family dog suddenly runs into the office, causing complete chaos. Malcolm barely escapes detection. And honestly, this moment perfectly captures why Big Momma's House 2 Explained remains such a fun movie experience. The suspense and comedy constantly collide together. One moment you're laughing, the next moment you're nervous for Malcolm's life. But Malcolm's problems are only beginning. Because outside the house, dangerous people are already moving. Unknown criminals want access to Tom Fuller's information, and they're willing to do anything to get it. Meanwhile, Malcolm's wife Sherry becomes frustrated. Malcolm promised he would spend more time with his family. Instead, he disappeared into another dangerous undercover mission. Their relationship begins suffering badly, and now Malcolm is trapped between two lives. His real family and the fake family he's spying on. But then something unexpected happens. One of the Fuller children begins trusting Big Momma deeply. The child opens up emotionally, sharing fears, struggles, and family problems. For the first time, Malcolm realizes this family may not be evil at all. Maybe Tom is hiding secrets, but maybe he's also trying to protect his loved ones. And suddenly the mission becomes emotionally complicated. Because if the FBI is wrong, then Malcolm could destroy innocent lives. But before he can figure out the truth, someone outside the house starts watching Big Momma very carefully. Someone suspicious, someone dangerous, and Malcolm has absolutely no idea he's already being targeted. The deeper Malcolm goes undercover, the more exhausting his double life becomes. By day, he's Big Momma, cooking breakfast, cleaning the house, helping the kids, and acting like the sweetest grandmother in the neighborhood. But by night, he becomes a spy, searching through secret files, watching suspicious behavior, trying to uncover a conspiracy before it's too late. And honestly, the pressure is starting to break him, because every single second inside the Fuller house feels dangerous now. One wrong move, and everything could explode. That's what makes Big Momma's House 2 Explained so entertaining. Behind all the comedy, there's constant tension building in the background. Now Malcolm begins paying closer attention to Tom Fuller. And the more he watches him, the stranger Tom becomes. Sometimes Tom acts like a caring father. Other times, he disappears into private rooms making secret phone calls in whispers. Even worse, Tom constantly looks nervous, like he knows someone is watching him. And this is where things get interesting. One afternoon, Malcolm overhears a mysterious conversation. Tom mentions encrypted data, money transfers, and something called the package. Immediately, Malcolm suspects the worst. Could Tom be selling government secrets? Could this entire family secretly be connected to international criminals? The FBI certainly thinks so. But Malcolm isn't fully convinced anymore. Because despite all the suspicious behavior, Tom genuinely loves his family. And Malcolm can see it. That emotional conflict slowly begins affecting the mission. Meanwhile, Big Momma becomes extremely popular in the neighborhood. Neighbors visit constantly. Children adore her. Even random strangers stop by to chat. At first, it's funny. But soon, it becomes a nightmare. Because the more people around him, the harder it becomes to protect his secret identity. Then comes one of the funniest disasters in the entire movie. A self-defense class. Big Momma accidentally gets dragged into teaching martial arts to local women. Now imagine Malcolm trying to fight criminals while dressed like a giant grandmother. The situation becomes completely ridiculous. Punches fly everywhere. People crash into furniture. Chaos explodes across the room. And somehow Malcolm still manages to stay undercover. Barely. But then everything changed. Late that night, Malcolm notices suspicious lights outside the house. Someone is there. Watching. At first he thinks it's paranoia. But then he sees movement near the windows. A shadow. Someone spying on the Fuller family. Malcolm immediately follows the figure outside. Rain pours heavily. The streets are dark. Thunder shakes the sky. And for the first time in this movie explanation in English, the comedy almost disappears completely. Because now the danger feels real. Malcolm chases the mysterious figure through the neighborhood but loses them in the darkness. However, he discovers something terrifying left behind. A recording device. Someone has been monitoring the house. But who? The FBI? Criminals? Or someone even worse? Malcolm quickly realizes he's not the only one investigating Tom Fuller anymore. And suddenly the mission becomes much more dangerous. Meanwhile, things inside the house become emotionally complicated. The Fuller children grow deeply attached to Big Momma, especially the youngest child, who begins seeing Big Momma as a trusted protector. Those scenes add surprising heart to Big Momma's House 2 review discussions even today. Because underneath all the jokes, there's genuine emotion. Malcolm starts helping the children with personal problems, school issues, confidence struggles, family tension. For a moment, he almost forgets he's an undercover agent. But reality hits hard during another secret investigation. One evening, Malcolm finally gains access to Tom's private computer system. This could be the breakthrough the FBI desperately needs. Carefully, Malcolm searches hidden folders. Encrypted files appear. Secret communications. Financial transactions. And then, a shocking discovery. Tom Fuller has indeed been communicating with dangerous criminals. But here's the twist. It doesn't look voluntary. The messages suggest Tom may actually be under pressure, possibly blackmailed, possibly threatened. Suddenly everything changes. Maybe Tom isn't the villain. Maybe he's trapped. And if that's true, then the real criminals are still out there, watching, waiting, planning something huge. But before Malcolm can copy the evidence, the computer screen suddenly goes black. A message appears. "I know who you are." Malcolm freezes. His heart drops instantly. Someone has discovered him. But who? And how much do they know? That's when Malcolm hears footsteps approaching the office door again. Slow, heavy, getting closer every second. And this time, there may be nowhere left to hide. Malcolm's heart pounds like a drum. The computer screen still glows with the terrifying message. "I know who you are." For a second, he can't even breathe. Did someone discover he's an FBI agent? Did Tom Fuller finally realize Big Momma is fake? Or worse, are the real criminals already inside the house? The footsteps outside the office door grow louder. Closer, closer. And Malcolm quickly shuts down the computer before anyone can see it. Then the door slowly opens. But here's the twist. It's not Tom. It's one of the Fuller kids. And honestly, Malcolm has never looked so relieved in his life. The child simply wanted help with a nightmare. But the moment perfectly shows how stressful this undercover mission has become. Malcolm is living in constant fear. One mistake could expose everything. And in Big Momma's house 2 full story, the tension keeps growing underneath the comedy. The next day, Malcolm secretly contacts the FBI. He explains the shocking message from the computer and shares his suspicion that Tom Fuller may not actually be the mastermind. But the FBI isn't interested in theories. They want evidence. Because according to intelligence reports, dangerous criminals are preparing to buy sensitive government information very soon. Time is running out, and Malcolm may be the only person capable of stopping it. Meanwhile, life inside the Fuller house becomes even crazier. Big Momma is now basically running the entire household, cooking giant meals, giving relationship advice, helping with homework. At one point, Malcolm even gets dragged into family therapy drama between Tom and Leah. And this is where things get interesting. The more Malcolm observes the family, the clearer one thing becomes. Tom genuinely loves them. That doesn't match the image of a cold-hearted criminal. Something feels wrong. Very wrong. Then comes another major clue. One evening, Malcolm overhears Tom arguing on the phone. Tom sounds terrified. Keeps saying things like, "I'm trying to fix it. You promised my family would be safe. I can't keep doing this." Malcolm immediately realizes Tom is being controlled, blackmailed, threatened by someone powerful. Suddenly, the entire case changes direction. Tom Fuller isn't just hiding secrets. He's trapped inside a nightmare. But before Malcolm can investigate further, absolute chaos erupts. The family dog accidentally destroys part of Malcolm's Big Momma disguise. And what happens next will shock you. The fake chest padding starts slipping. The wig nearly falls off. And Malcolm must desperately hide before anyone notices. The entire sequence becomes hilarious madness. children screaming, furniture crashing, Malcolm running through the house trying to protect his identity. It's pure comedy chaos. But underneath the humor, danger still lurks everywhere. Because while Malcolm struggles inside the house, outside, the real villains are getting closer. One night, Malcolm notices a suspicious black vehicle parked across the street. The same car appears again the next day. And the next. Someone is definitely watching the Fuller family. But then comes one of the biggest turning points in Big Momma's house to explain. Malcolm secretly follows Tom during a late-night meeting. Rain pours heavily as Tom drives into an isolated industrial area far away from the neighborhood. The atmosphere suddenly feels dark and serious. No comedy, no jokes, just tension. Tom enters an abandoned warehouse. Malcolm follows carefully while staying hidden in his Big Momma disguise. Inside the warehouse, Tom meets dangerous-looking men connected to organized crime. And this is where everything finally starts making sense. The criminals are forcing Tom to steal advanced government security information using his computer skills. If he refuses, his family dies. That's the truth. Tom was never willingly evil. He was protecting his wife and children the only way he could. But then everything changed again. One of the criminals notices movement in the shadows. Malcolm accidentally makes noise. The men immediately pull weapons. Now Malcolm is trapped inside a warehouse full of armed criminals, dressed like an old grandmother. Honestly, only this movie could create a situation this insane. Malcolm tries escaping quietly, but it's too late. One criminal spots him clearly. "Who are you?" the man shouts. Suddenly the entire warehouse explodes into chaos. Malcolm runs. Crates crash everywhere. Gunmen chase him through the darkness. And somehow, Big Momma must survive long enough to warn the FBI before the criminals execute their deadly plan. But during the escape, one terrifying thing happens. The criminals rip off part of Big Momma's disguise. Not enough to fully expose Malcolm, but enough to realize something is seriously wrong. Now the criminals know the old lady is hiding something. And from this moment forward, Malcolm himself becomes a target. After barely escaping the warehouse, Malcolm races back home completely shaken. His disguise is damaged. His mission is collapsing. And now armed criminals are hunting him. But somehow, he still has to act like a cheerful grandmother the next morning. That's the insane reality of Big Momma's House 2 full movie breakdown. One moment Malcolm is dodging criminals. The next moment he's making pancakes for children. And honestly, the pressure is becoming unbearable. Back at the Fuller house, Malcolm secretly repairs his Big Momma costume before anyone notices. But something feels different now. The danger is closer, more personal, because the criminals have seen him. Not fully, but enough to become suspicious. Meanwhile, Tom Fuller grows even more nervous. He barely sleeps. He constantly checks windows and locks. And he jumps every time the phone rings. Malcolm finally understands why. Tom isn't protecting secrets anymore. He's trying to keep his family alive. And this is where things get emotional. For the first time, Malcolm stops seeing Tom as a suspect. Now he sees him as a desperate father trapped by dangerous people. But the FBI still wants evidence. Without proof, they cannot move against the criminals. So Malcolm continues risking everything. One evening, he secretly confronts Tom indirectly while staying in character as Big Momma. Their conversation becomes surprisingly deep. Tom admits he's made terrible mistakes. He says sometimes good people get trapped in impossible situations. Malcolm listens carefully. Because underneath those words, Tom is basically confessing without directly confessing. And this is where things get interesting. Malcolm starts forming a dangerous plan. Instead of simply spying on Tom, he decides to help him. but that means disobeying strict FBI orders. If the agency discovers Malcolm is emotionally involved, his career could be finished forever. Still, Malcolm can't walk away anymore. Not after bonding with the family. Not after seeing terrified children living inside constant danger. Then comes another hilarious disaster. The neighborhood organizes a massive social gathering, and Big Momma becomes the center of attention. Music starts playing. People dance everywhere. Children run through the house. And Malcolm suddenly finds himself trapped in an absurd dance competition. An undercover FBI agent disguised as an elderly grandmother is now performing in front of an entire neighborhood. The scene becomes complete comedy chaos. People cheer wildly. Big Momma starts dancing harder. And somehow Malcolm accidentally becomes the star of the party. Moments like this are exactly why Big Momma's House 2 review discussions still remember the movie fondly. It mixes suspense with ridiculous comedy in such an over-the-top way. But then everything changed. During the party, Malcolm notices a stranger watching him carefully from outside. The same cold stare. The same suspicious behavior. One of the criminals from the warehouse. The man immediately leaves before Malcolm can follow him. And suddenly the fun atmosphere disappears instantly. Because Malcolm realizes something terrifying. The criminals know where he is. Which means the Fuller family could already be in danger. That night, Malcolm secretly warns Tom. At first Tom panics. He demands to know how Big Momma knows so much. Malcolm carefully hints that he's trying to help. Slowly, Tom begins understanding the truth. Big Momma isn't who she claims to be. But before either of them can speak openly, a black SUV suddenly pulls up outside the house. Everyone freezes. Tom's face turns pale instantly, because he recognizes the vehicle. The criminals are here. And what happens next will shock you. Armed men begin surrounding the house silently. Malcolm quickly hides the children upstairs while trying to stay calm. Tom realizes the criminals suspect betrayal. If they find evidence of FBI involvement, the entire family dies. The tension becomes unbearable. Meanwhile, Malcolm secretly contacts the FBI for backup. But help is too far away. They may not arrive in time. Then one of the criminals knocks on the front door. Slowly, calmly, like he already owns the house. Tom opens the door nervously. The criminal smiles coldly and enters. And this is where the movie suddenly transforms from comedy into full suspense thriller. The criminals casually search the house while pretending everything is normal. But Malcolm knows the truth. They're hunting for evidence. For betrayal. For weakness. And if they discover Malcolm's real identity, nobody inside that house is surviving the night. But then comes the biggest problem of all. One of the children accidentally calls Malcolm, Mr. Malcolm. Silence fills the room instantly. The criminal slowly turns toward Big Momma. His eyes narrow, and Malcolm realizes his cover may have finally been destroyed. The entire room goes silent. You could literally hear a pin drop. One of the criminals stares directly at Big Momma after hearing the child say the name Malcolm. And in that moment, Malcolm knows he's in serious trouble. Tom Fuller freezes. Leah looks confused. The children don't understand what's happening. But the criminal? He understands immediately. His eyes lock onto Big Momma with growing suspicion. And this is where Big Momma's House 2 Explained becomes incredibly tense. Because Malcolm can't fight back openly. Not yet. If violence erupts inside the house, innocent people could get hurt. So instead, he improvises. Malcolm suddenly starts laughing loudly in full Big Momma style. "Oh, honey," he says dramatically, "my first husband's name was Malcolm." The room stays awkwardly silent for a second. Then the children nervously play along. Tom forces a fake smile. And somehow, the criminal decides not to push further, at least for now. But Malcolm can tell the man isn't convinced. Not even close. The criminals eventually leave the house, but their warning is crystal clear. They know Tom is hiding something, and if he betrays them, his family dies. The moment the SUV disappears, everyone inside the house finally breathes again. But the fear remains, especially for Tom, because now Malcolm fully understands the truth. Tom isn't just trapped in criminal activity. He's a hostage. And Malcolm realizes there may only be one way to save this family. Take down the criminals completely. But doing that won't be easy, because the criminals are preparing a major data exchange very soon. Sensitive government information will be sold to dangerous buyers. If the transfer succeeds, national security could collapse. And suddenly the mission becomes bigger than anyone imagined. Meanwhile, Malcolm struggles emotionally. His real family barely sees him anymore. His wife Sherry feels abandoned and frustrated. Every phone call between them becomes more painful. Sherry reminds Malcolm that he promised to change, to stop disappearing into dangerous undercover lives. But Malcolm can't walk away now. Not after everything he's discovered. And honestly, this emotional conflict gives Big Momma's House 2 full story more depth than people expect from a comedy movie. Underneath the jokes, Malcolm is torn apart internally. Then comes another major twist. Late one night, Tom secretly approaches Big Momma while the rest of the family sleeps. He finally confronts Malcolm directly. Tom quietly says, "You're not really who you say you are you?" For a second, Malcolm almost reaches for a weapon. But Tom isn't angry. He's desperate. Completely desperate. And this is where things get interesting. Tom admits everything. Years earlier, he created advanced security software connected to sensitive government systems. Criminal organizations later targeted him, forcing him to help steal classified information. At first he resisted. Then they threatened Leah. Then the children. After that, he had no choice. Tom's confession changes everything. Now Malcolm finally understands the real enemy. A dangerous criminal network using fear and blackmail to control people. But before they can plan their next move, disaster strikes again. Someone inside the house secretly records Malcolm and Tom talking. The next morning, the criminals send a terrifying message. "We know you talked." Now panic spreads instantly. The criminals are always watching, always listening. And what happens next will shock you. The FBI finally orders Malcolm to leave the house immediately. The operation is considered compromised. Too dangerous. But Malcolm refuses. Because if he leaves now, the criminals will kill the Fuller family. So Malcolm makes the riskiest decision of the entire movie. He goes rogue. No official backup. No protection. No guarantees. Just Malcolm undercover as Big Momma against dangerous criminals. And this is where the movie explanation in English becomes pure chaos. Malcolm secretly begins preparing the family for escape without revealing the full truth to Leah and the children. Meanwhile, Tom works desperately to delay the criminals' data transfer. But time is running out fast. Then suddenly, one of the children disappears. At first everyone thinks it's innocent, maybe playing outside, maybe visiting a friend. But then the phone rings. A criminal voice speaks coldly. "You have 1 hour." Tom's face turns white instantly. The criminals have taken the child. And now the situation becomes deadly real. Because this is no longer about secret files. It's about saving a family before everything falls apart completely. The moment the phone call ends, pure panic explodes inside the Fuller house. Leah starts crying instantly. Tom can barely stand. The other children are terrified. And Malcolm? He finally realizes just how ruthless these criminals really are. They kidnapped a child without hesitation. That means nobody is safe anymore. Not the family, not Tom, not even Malcolm himself. And this is where Big Momma's House 2 full story suddenly becomes much darker than before. The criminals give Tom one simple order: complete the data transfer or the child dies. No negotiations, no delays. Tom completely breaks down emotionally. For years, he tried protecting his family by obeying the criminals. But now even that isn't enough. The criminals were never going to let them go free. Meanwhile, Leah finally senses that something massive is being hidden from her. She confronts Tom directly, demanding answers, demanding truth. And this is where things get interesting. Tom finally confesses everything to his wife. The threats, the blackmail, the stolen information. Every terrible secret comes pouring out. Leah is devastated, not only because of the danger, but because the man she trusted kept such horrifying secrets from her. The emotional tension inside the house becomes overwhelming, and Malcolm watches it all happen while still trapped inside the ridiculous Big Momma disguise. Honestly, the situation is becoming almost impossible. But then everything changed. Malcolm secretly receives information about where the kidnapped child is being held, an abandoned building near the docks. The criminals are preparing the final data exchange there later that night. This is the FBI's only chance. Malcolm immediately contacts the agency again, asking for emergency support. But the FBI refuses to move too early. They want enough evidence to capture the entire organization. That answer infuriates Malcolm, because a child's life is at risk right now. So once again, Malcolm decides to act alone. And what happens next will shock you. Still dressed as Big Momma, Malcolm heads toward the docks in the middle of the night. Rain crashes against the streets. The city feels cold and dangerous. Every shadow looks threatening. The comedy atmosphere almost completely disappears here. Now it feels like a real thriller. Malcolm sneaks inside the abandoned building carefully. The place is massive. Dark hallways, rusty metal walls, broken lights flickering everywhere. Somewhere inside, the child is trapped, and armed criminals are guarding the building. But here's the twist. Being disguised as Big Momma actually helps Malcolm. The criminals don't immediately recognize him. At first glance, he still looks like a harmless old grandmother wandering into the wrong place. And Malcolm uses that confusion perfectly. One guard gets distracted. Another lowers his weapon for just a second. That's all Malcolm needs. Suddenly chaos erupts. Malcolm attacks fast. Criminals crash into crates. Weapons slide across the floor. And watching Big Momma fight hardened criminals becomes one of the funniest and craziest moments in Big Momma's House 2 Explained. But underneath the comedy, the danger is real. Because there are too many criminals. And Malcolm is alone. Eventually, Malcolm finds the kidnapped child tied up inside a locked room. The child is terrified, but alive. Malcolm quickly frees them and promises everything will be okay. For a brief moment, it feels like they might actually escape. But then, gunshots echo through the building. The criminals know someone is inside. Now the entire warehouse becomes a giant trap. Malcolm grabs the child and runs through narrow hallways while criminals chase them from every direction. Metal doors slam shut. Bullets hit walls. Sirens begin sounding everywhere. The tension becomes insane. Meanwhile, back at the Fuller house, Tom makes a huge decision. Instead of continuing to obey the criminals, he decides to fight back. Tom finally sends the FBI critical evidence exposing the entire criminal network. Financial records, encrypted files, everything. Now there's no turning back. If the criminals discover what he did, they'll kill everyone. And this is where things get truly explosive. At the docks, Malcolm and the child almost reach safety. But one of the main criminals suddenly appears directly in front of them holding a gun. Malcolm freezes. The child screams. And then the criminal smiles coldly and says, "You're not really Big Mama, are you?" For the first time in the entire movie, Malcolm's disguise may finally be completely exposed. The criminal raises his gun slowly. Rainwater drips from the ceiling of the abandoned dock building while Malcolm stands frozen beside the terrified child. And now, there's nowhere left to hide. The criminal stares directly at Big Mama and smirks. "You really think a fake old lady could fool us forever?" Silence. Pure tension. Then suddenly, Malcolm rips off part of the disguise. And for the first time in Big Mama's house 2 full movie breakdown, the truth is fully exposed. The criminals finally see who he really is. FBI agent Malcolm Turner. What happens next will shock you. The criminal immediately fires. Malcolm grabs the child and dives behind metal containers as bullets explode around them. The action becomes absolute chaos. Gunfire everywhere. Crates crashing. Sirens echoing outside. And somehow Malcolm must protect the child while escaping armed criminals inside a collapsing warehouse. But here's the twist. Even after being exposed, parts of the Big Mama costume are still hanging off Malcolm's body. So the action scenes become both intense and ridiculously funny at the same time. Imagine a federal agent fighting criminals while wearing half a grandmother outfit. Only this movie could pull that off. Meanwhile, outside the docks, the FBI finally arrives after receiving Tom Fuller's evidence. Agents surround the area quickly. Lights flash across the rain-covered streets. But the criminals expected betrayal. And they already have an escape plan. Inside the building, Malcolm manages to hide the child in a secure room temporarily while he confronts the criminals directly. This becomes one of the biggest turning points in Big Mama's House 2 explained in English. Because now Malcolm stops acting defensive. Now he fights back. One criminal charges toward him. Malcolm slams him into stacked boxes. Another attacks from behind. Malcolm spins around using Big Mama's handbag as a weapon. Honestly, the fight scenes are completely over the top, but that's exactly what makes them entertaining. At the same time, Tom and Leah attempt to escape their home with the rest of the children before the criminals retaliate. But danger reaches them first. A black SUV suddenly blocks the road. More armed men step out. The criminals are trying to eliminate every witness before the FBI fully closes in. Tom realizes this is the final battle. No more hiding. No more running. Either they survive tonight, or everything ends here. And this is where things get interesting. Leah finally discovers the full truth about Big Mama. Tom explains that she is actually an undercover FBI agent protecting them. At first, Leah can't even process it. Imagine learning your family housekeeper is secretly a federal officer in disguise. The shock on her face says everything. But there's no time to react emotionally. Because the criminals attack immediately. Tom desperately protects his family while trying to escape the ambush. Meanwhile, inside the dock building, Malcolm discovers something terrifying. The criminals already copied part of the classified government data. Even if the FBI arrests them tonight, some information may already be leaked. That raises the stakes dramatically. Now Malcolm must stop the transfer completely. And what happens next will shock you. The main criminal leader finally appears. Dangerous. He reveals that Malcolm's undercover mission was being monitored for days. The criminals suspected Big Mama long before the warehouse incident. They simply waited for the perfect moment to strike. That realization hits Malcolm hard. Meaning every moment inside the Fuller house. Every conversation. Every secret investigation. The criminals were watching. Then the villain gives Malcolm an impossible choice. Save the child, or stop the data transfer. Not both. And honestly, this is the most intense moment in the entire movie explanation in English so far. Because Malcolm hesitates. For the first time, he truly doesn't know what to do. If he stops the transfer, innocent people nationwide may be protected. But if he chooses the mission, a child could die. Then suddenly, the child escapes the hiding room and runs toward Malcolm screaming for help. Gunfire erupts instantly. The criminals move fast. Too fast. And Malcolm realizes the final confrontation has officially begun. The entire dock warehouse explodes into chaos. Gunshots echo everywhere. Metal containers collapse. People scream and run for cover. And in the middle of all this madness, Malcolm dives toward the child. At the exact same second, bullets tear through the air behind him. For one terrifying moment, it looks like they won't survive. But Malcolm manages to shield the child just in time. And this is where Big Momma's House 2 full story reaches another insane level of tension. Because now Malcolm has two impossible missions happening at once. Protect the child. Stop the criminals from escaping with classified data. And somehow, he must do both while still wearing pieces of the Big Momma costume. Honestly, the movie becomes completely wild here. Meanwhile, FBI agents storm the docks from every direction. Lights flash through the darkness. Sirens scream outside. Criminals begin panicking. But the leader of the operation remains calm. Too calm. That's because he already prepared an escape route. And this is where things get interesting. While Malcolm fights through the warehouse, the criminal leader secretly uploads stolen government data to an external drive. If he escapes with that drive, the entire mission fails. Malcolm notices the transfer happening and immediately chases after him. But before he can reach the criminal, another explosion rocks the building. Fire starts spreading across parts of the warehouse. Now everything becomes even more dangerous. Smoke fills the air. Alarms blare non-stop. Visibility drops rapidly. And somewhere inside the chaos, the child gets separated again. Malcolm panics instantly. He starts searching desperately through the smoke-filled corridors. "Stay where you are," he shouts. But there's no answer. For the first time in the movie explanation in English, Malcolm looks truly afraid. Not for himself, for the child. Then suddenly, he hears crying nearby. Malcolm rushes toward the sound and finds the child trapped beneath fallen metal debris. Fire is spreading quickly now. The ceiling creaks dangerously overhead. And what happens next will shock you. Instead of escaping alone, Malcolm risks everything to save the child first. Even though the criminal leader is getting away. Even though the mission itself could fail. That choice reveals Malcolm's true character. He's not just an FBI agent anymore. He genuinely cares about this family. Using every bit of strength he has, Malcolm lifts the heavy debris and pulls the child free moments before flames engulf the area. But now there's another problem. The exit is blocked. Smoke thickens rapidly. The child can barely breathe. And the building may collapse at any second. Then comes one of the most emotional moments in Big Momma's House 2 explained. The child grabs Malcolm's hand and quietly says, "I knew you weren't really Big Momma." Malcolm freezes. The child smiles weakly. "But you're still family." That line hits hard emotionally because throughout this crazy undercover mission, Malcolm truly became part of their lives. Not fake. Not pretend. But before the emotional moment can continue, the criminal leader suddenly appears again holding the stolen data drive. And now the final showdown begins. The villain points a gun directly at Malcolm and the child. Fire burns around them. The warehouse shakes violently. Escape routes disappear one by one. Then the criminal laughs and says something terrifying. "You should have stayed a grandmother." Suddenly, the villain fires. Malcolm reacts instantly. pushing the child aside as the bullet narrowly misses. Then both men crash into each other in a brutal fight. Punches fly. Flames spread everywhere. The data drive slides across the floor. And this is where things become absolutely insane. Because Malcolm isn't just fighting for the mission anymore. He's fighting for lives. Meanwhile, outside the docks, Tom and Leah are still trying to survive their own ambush. FBI agents arrive just in time to help them, but the criminals refuse to surrender easily. Cars crash. Weapons fire everywhere. Children scream in fear. The entire night turns into complete warfare. And back inside the burning warehouse, Malcolm finally gets his hands on the stolen data drive. But before he can escape, the villain locks the only remaining exit. Now Malcolm and the child are trapped inside a burning building with no clear way out. And the fire is getting closer every second. Smoke fills the warehouse so heavily that Malcolm can barely see. The heat becomes unbearable. Metal beams crack above them. Flames crawl across the walls like monsters closing in. And trapped inside all of it, Malcolm and the child. This is the moment where Big Momma's House 2 full movie breakdown turns completely explosive. Because now survival itself becomes the mission. Malcolm desperately searches for another exit while holding the stolen data drive tightly. That drive contains everything. The criminal network, the stolen information, the evidence the FBI needs. Lose it, and the entire operation collapses. But here's the twist. The child can barely walk now because of smoke inhalation. So Malcolm faces another impossible choice. Move faster alone, or slow down and protect the child. And honestly, there's never really a choice for him. He carries the child through the burning warehouse while debris crashes around them. Then suddenly, the main criminal attacks again from the smoke. The man is injured but still dangerous. Completely desperate. Because he knows if Malcolm escapes with the data drive, his entire organization is finished. The villain tackles Malcolm hard, and both men slam into the floor. The drive slides away into the flames. Now the final fight becomes personal. No disguises. No comedy act. Just survival. Punch after punch echoes through the burning building while the child watches in fear nearby. And this is where things get interesting. Even during the brutal fight, parts of the Big Momma outfit are still hanging off Malcolm. The visual is ridiculous. Half FBI agent, half grandmother. Yet somehow it perfectly represents the entire movie itself. Comedy mixed with chaos. Then the villain grabs a metal pipe and swings at Malcolm violently. Malcolm barely dodges in time. The pipe smashes into support beams instead, and suddenly the ceiling begins collapsing. Everything starts falling apart. Literally. The child screams. Fire explodes across the room. The warehouse begins caving in section by section. And what happens next will shock you. Instead of escaping, Malcolm dives back into the flames to recover the data drive. Because without it, the criminals could still win. For a few terrifying seconds, Malcolm disappears completely inside the smoke. The child cries out thinking he's dead. Then suddenly, Malcolm emerges from the fire holding the drive. But now there's almost no time left. The entire building is collapsing. Meanwhile, outside the docks, FBI agents finally overpower most of the criminals attacking Tom Fuller and his family. Tom himself helps stop one of the armed men trying to reach Leah and the children. That moment matters because earlier in the movie, Tom felt weak and trapped. Now he finally fights back. Not as a victim, but as a father protecting his family. And honestly, it's one of the strongest character moments in Big Momma's House 2 explained in English. Back inside the warehouse, Malcolm finds one final escape route near an upper-level maintenance platform. But reaching it won't be easy. The stairs are partially destroyed. Flames block parts of the path. and the villain is still chasing them. Then comes another major twist. The criminal leader reveals there are more copies of the stolen data hidden elsewhere. Even if Malcolm escapes tonight, the danger may not truly be over. For a second, Malcolm hesitates. Could the mission still fail after all this? But then the villain makes one fatal mistake. He turns his attention toward the child again, and Malcolm snaps. Completely. The fight becomes savage. Malcolm attacks with everything he has left. The villain crashes through burning debris and falls onto collapsing metal structures below. Moments later, the floor gives way entirely beneath him, and suddenly, the criminal disappears into the fire. Gone. Finally, the threat is over. At least for now. But Malcolm and the child are still trapped inside a collapsing inferno. The maintenance platform starts breaking apart beneath their feet. Smoke surrounds them completely. Outside, FBI agents can see flames bursting through the roof. Everyone believes nobody could still be alive inside. A massive explosion shakes the entire dock building. The structure begins collapsing rapidly into itself. And Malcolm realizes they have only seconds left to escape before everything comes crashing down forever. The warehouse is collapsing like a house of cards in a storm. Steel beams twist. Fire roars like a living monster. And the entire structure begins sinking into itself. Malcolm holds the child tightly, running through smoke so thick he can barely see his own hands. Every step feels like the last step he might ever take. And this is where Big Momma's House 2 full story reaches its most intense survival moment. Because now it's not about catching criminals anymore. It's about getting out alive. The emergency exit platform is just ahead, but the path is breaking apart behind them. Floor panels collapse one by one. Fire spreads faster than they can move. The heat is almost unbearable. And then, a massive explosion behind them sends both Malcolm and the child flying forward. They crash near the exit ladder, but it's damaged, barely hanging on. Malcolm looks up. The only way out is climbing through a collapsing vertical shaft while the entire building is falling apart. No time to think. He lifts the child and starts climbing. But halfway up, the structure shakes violently again, and Malcolm slips. For a split second, it looks like both of them are going to fall back into the fire. But Malcolm manages to grab the ladder just in time. His grip is slipping. His strength is fading. Smoke burns his lungs. He refuses to let go. And this is where things get interesting. The child starts crying and says, "Let me go, you'll fall too." But Malcolm refuses instantly. "No, I got you." That line defines everything about his character in the entire movie explanation in English. Because even when everything is collapsing, he still protects the child. Finally, after what feels like forever, Malcolm reaches the top exit hatch. With one final push, he breaks it open and throws both himself and the child outside, right as the entire warehouse collapses behind them in a massive explosion. Fire erupts into the night sky. The building finally falls completely. Silence follows. For a moment, everything feels over. Malcolm lies on the ground exhausted, holding the child tightly. Alive. Barely. And then, FBI agents rush in immediately, securing the area and taking control of the scene. Medics check the child. Officers surround Malcolm. And for the first time all night, he can finally breathe. Meanwhile, Tom Fuller and his family are safely rescued from the separate ambush at the house. The criminals attacking them are arrested as FBI reinforcements arrive. The entire operation collapses in real time. One by one, the criminal network is taken down. And Tom finally realizes his nightmare is over. But then everything changed. As Malcolm stands outside the burning wreckage, still dressed in the partially destroyed Big Momma outfit, FBI agents approach him. They've recovered the stolen data drive. The mission is complete. But there's tension, because Malcolm went rogue. He disobeyed direct orders. He risked civilians. He acted independently. For a moment, it looks like he might be in serious trouble. Then the FBI supervisor looks at him and simply nods. No punishment, just recognition. Because without Malcolm, the mission would have failed completely. But emotionally, Malcolm is exhausted. Not just physically, mentally. Because this mission changed him. He didn't just stop criminals. He became part of a family. And this is where the emotional core of Big Momma's house too becomes clear. It's not just about undercover missions. It's about connection, trust, sacrifice. Later, Malcolm reunites briefly with Tom and Leah. There's no long speech, no dramatic goodbye, just understanding. Tom thanks him quietly, Leah thanks him emotionally, and the children run to hug him. For a moment, Malcolm smiles. But deep inside, he knows this chapter is ending. Because he can't stay Big Momma forever. He has a real life, a real family waiting for him. And slowly, he walks away from the Fuller family for the final time. The morning after the chaos, everything feels strangely quiet. No gunfire, no explosions, no disguises slipping at the worst possible moment. Just silence after a night that nearly destroyed everyone. And this is where Big Momma's House 2 full story begins its emotional reflection phase. Malcolm sits alone, finally without the Big Momma disguise fully active. The weight of everything hits him at once. He didn't just complete a mission. He lived inside another family's life. He protected them. He laughed with them. He almost lost his life for them. And now, it's over. Meanwhile, FBI reports confirm the operation was a full success. The criminal network has been dismantled. Leaders arrested. Stolen data recovered. Threat neutralized. But victory feels different for Malcolm. Because this wasn't just a case. It was personal. Then comes a quieter moment. Tom Fuller is taken in for questioning, but because of Malcolm's recovered evidence, he is not treated as a criminal. Instead, authorities recognize he was a victim of coercion and blackmail. That changes everything. Tom is finally free, but emotionally broken. Leah stands beside him, still shaken by everything they went through. And the children, they don't fully understand how close they came to losing everything. But they know one thing: Big Momma saved them. This emotional layer is what gives Big Momma's House 2 review discussions a surprising depth beyond comedy. Because underneath the disguises, real bonds were formed. Now Malcolm prepares to leave completely. He packs up quietly. No celebration. No crowd. Just him, walking away from the life he lived undercover. But before he can leave, the Fuller family visits him one last time. The children run toward him first, hugging him tightly. Leah thanks him again, this time more personally. Tom simply says, "You saved us, even when I didn't deserve it." Malcolm doesn't respond immediately. He just nods. Because sometimes words aren't enough. Then something unexpected happens. One of the children hands Malcolm a small drawing. It's Big Momma, smiling, standing with the family. That moment hits him harder than any explosion or gunfight. Because it shows what he became to them wasn't just a disguise. It was comfort, safety, family. And this is where things get interesting emotionally. Malcolm realizes something important. He didn't just protect them. They also changed him. He became more human, more connected, more aware of what truly matters. But the life of an FBI agent doesn't allow attachments like this. So he walks away, slowly, without looking back. And the final image of this part of the story is Malcolm disappearing into the distance, leaving behind both the chaos and the family he protected. But before the movie truly ends, There's one final emotional beat. His wife Sherry meets him again, and instead of anger this time, there is understanding. She sees the change in him. She sees the exhaustion, and she realizes something important. He didn't just choose his job. He chose to save lives. That doesn't erase the distance between them, but it begins healing it. And just like that, the story moves toward its final conclusion. After everything, the explosions, the disguises, the kidnappings, the chaos, Malcolm is finally standing still. No more missions. No more Big Mama suit. No more running from bullets in a wig and oversized dress. Just silence. And reflection. This is where Big Mama's House 2 explained shifts from action-heavy chaos into deeper meaning. Because beneath all the comedy, there's a simple truth starting to surface. Malcolm didn't just stop a criminal network. He stepped into a broken family's life and held it together when it was falling apart. And in doing so, he changed it forever. Tom Fuller's story becomes a major emotional theme here. A man who wasn't evil, just trapped. Forced into impossible decisions. Blackmailed into silence. Struggling to protect his family the only way he thought he could. But in the end, he chooses truth over fear. That decision breaks the chain of control the criminals had over him. And for the first time in a long time, Tom can breathe without fear. Leah, too, undergoes a quiet transformation. She learns that trust can be broken, but also rebuilt. Even after betrayal, fear, and deception, she chooses to stand by her family. That emotional recovery gives the story a softer ending beneath all the action. And the children? They represent innocence in the middle of chaos. They never fully understand the danger they were in, but they understand love, safety, and protection. And for them, Big Mama wasn't a disguise. She was a hero. Now here's the deeper meaning of the movie. The central idea of Big Mama's House 2 full movie breakdown is this. Sometimes protecting people means becoming someone you never expected to be. Sometimes duty conflicts with family. And sometimes, the line between comedy and danger becomes very thin. Malcolm's journey shows that identity is not just about appearance. It's about actions. Because even while pretending to be someone else, he made real choices that saved real lives. Then comes the emotional core conclusion. Malcolm realizes something about himself. He entered the mission as a spy, but left it as someone changed by the people he protected. And that transformation cannot be undone. The Big Mama disguise was just the surface. Underneath it, he was always a protector, a husband, a father, an agent who cares too deeply. And that is both his strength and his burden. Now the final thematic layer appears. The movie subtly shows that no matter how chaotic life becomes, human connection is what keeps people grounded. Malcolm could have failed the mission if he only followed rules. But he succeeded because he followed empathy. And that makes all the difference. As the story moves toward its final wrap-up, we see that every character is left changed. Tom is free but reflective. Leah is stronger but cautious. The children are safe but wiser in ways they don't fully understand. And Malcolm walks away carrying something invisible. Experience, emotion, and the weight of everything he went through. But before the final verdict, there's one last emotional realization. Sometimes the people we meet during our hardest missions leave the deepest impact on our lives. And for Malcolm, the Fuller family was never just a case. It was a turning point, and now everything leads into the final review. Now we reach the final chapter. After all the chaos, disguises, explosions, and emotional breakdowns, it's time to step back and look at the bigger picture of Big Mama's House 2 review and explanation. So what is this movie really? On the surface, it's a loud, over-the-top comedy filled with slapstick humor, disguised jokes, and wild FBI undercover chaos. But underneath that, it's actually a story about identity, sacrifice, and emotional connection. The biggest strength of this film is its balance. Comedy on one side, real danger on the other, and somehow both exist in the same world without completely breaking the story. The performance of Martin Lawrence is the heart of the movie. He carries the entire film with energy, timing, and emotional depth while switching between humor and seriousness instantly. That's not easy. One moment he's making you laugh. The next moment he's running through gunfire trying to save a child. That contrast is what keeps viewers engaged from beginning to end. From a storytelling perspective, the movie works because it constantly raises the stakes. It starts as a simple undercover mission, then slowly becomes a hostage situation, then turns into a full criminal takedown operation, and finally becomes a story about protecting a family at any cost. That progression keeps viewers hooked throughout the full movie breakdown. But let's be honest, this movie isn't trying to be realistic. It's exaggerated. It's chaotic. It's intentionally ridiculous at times. And that's exactly why it works as entertainment. It doesn't ask you to take it too seriously. Instead, it invites you into a world where anything can happen, even an FBI agent saving lives while dressed as a grandmother. Now here's the final takeaway. At its core, this movie is about how far someone is willing to go to protect others. Malcolm risks his career, his safety, his personal life, all to save people he was assigned to watch. And in doing so, he becomes part of their story. That's the emotional core hidden under all the comedy. So what's the final verdict? If you're watching for pure entertainment, comedy, and chaotic action, you'll enjoy it. If you're watching for deep realism, you might question some of the logic. But if you're watching for a fun, emotional, high-energy FBI undercover story, it delivers exactly that. And that's why Big Momma's House 2 still gets talked about today. Now I want to hear from you. Did you enjoy Malcolm's undercover journey as Big Momma? Do you think he made the right choices in the end? Or was the mission too dangerous from the start? Comment your thoughts below. And if you enjoyed this full story breakdown, movie explanation in English, and cinematic review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more movie reviews and breakdowns like this. Because more insane movie stories are coming soon. And trust me, the mission is over, but the aftermath is just beginning. Days after the operation, Malcolm tries to return to normal FBI life, but nothing feels normal anymore. Every quiet moment reminds him of the chaos at the Fuller house. Every phone ring feels like another emergency. Every shadow feels like another undercover mission waiting to happen. And this is where Big Momma's House 2 explanation takes a deeper turn, because now we see the psychological impact of everything he went through. Malcolm reports back to the FBI headquarters. His superiors officially praise him for dismantling a dangerous criminal network. The case is closed. Files archived. Criminals arrested. Data secured. But there's a strange silence in the room. Because everyone knows what really happened wasn't just a standard mission. It was messy, unapproved, and completely unpredictable. Still it worked. Then Malcolm receives something unexpected. A small package delivered to his office. No sender name. Inside is a simple drawing. The Fuller children drew Big Momma again. This time with a message. "You are our hero." Malcolm stares at it for a long time. No jokes. No disguises. No chaos. Just emotion. For the first time since the mission ended, he smiles without stress. But deep inside, he knows something important. That chapter of his life is not really over. Because people like him don't stay in quiet lives for long. And somewhere in the world, new threats are already forming. New missions are waiting. and Malcolm Turner's name is still on the list. But before anything else happens, he folds the drawing carefully and places it inside his desk. A reminder that behind every mission, there are real people who get saved, and real connections that remain long after the danger is gone. But what Malcolm doesn't realize yet is that someone else is watching him now. Someone who knows exactly what he did during the Fuller case and is very interested in the Big Momma identity. Weeks pass. Life starts to settle, or at least pretend to. Malcolm returns to lighter FBI duties, avoiding anything that looks even slightly like undercover chaos. But peace never lasts long in his world. One evening, while leaving headquarters, he notices something strange. A black folder on his car windshield. No markings. No explanation. Inside it, surveillance photos. Photos of Malcolm as Big Momma. From the Fuller mission. Undeniable. And this is where Big Momma's House 2 final hidden tension reveals itself. Because someone outside the FBI now knows everything. Malcolm looks around quickly. No one is visible. But the message is clear. He is being monitored, not for what he did, but for who he became. Big Momma is no longer just a disguise. It's an identity someone else might try to exploit. That night, Malcolm meets with FBI leadership again. They are alarmed, because if this information leaks publicly, it could expose undercover protocols and endanger future missions. But there's no trace of who sent it. No digital footprint. No physical evidence. Just one warning. We know what you can become. Malcolm immediately understands the danger. This isn't about the Fuller case anymore. It's about him, and what he represents. The ability to disappear into any identity. To become anyone. That kind of skill attracts the wrong attention. As he leaves the building, Malcolm stops for a moment under the streetlight. Silent. Thinking. Then he softly says to himself, maybe Big Momma was never just a disguise. And for the first time, he realizes something unsettling. Every mission changes him a little more. And one day, he might not even know where Malcolm Turner ends and Big Momma begins. The camera metaphorically fades out on that thought, leaving us with one final truth. The mission is never truly over. It just changes form. And somewhere out there,